Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
This is Season 3, Episode 1 of Ruck On with Wisp Sports, where we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage. We're excited to announce that Ruck On is in partnership now with the Women's Rugby Show. I'm Bex Chaplin, journalist and presenter.
And I'm Poppy Cleall, Saracens and England rugby player.
Okay, so Poppy, here we are.
I think I should probably start by welcoming you to the podcast.
Yeah, let's do that.
And congratulating you on the perfect start already.
Well, we'll have a bit of a breather now while I collect all my notes.
Good.
So Poppy, where are you coming to us from today?
Today I'm in a physio room. So actually I'm injured at the moment. So even though it's been Christmas and it's been the new year, I've still been having to do my rehab and training. So today actually I'm halfway through my physio session and looking forward to really probably getting back on the rugby pitch. And I know that it's in the not so distant future that hopefully I'll be playing in. But yeah, that's where I'm from today. How about you, Bex?
Lovely. I am in my study today, so not as exciting as a physio. Nothing exciting for me. So Papa, just share with us what injury you suffered and where you are in your recovery.
Yeah, so in the last game of the Autumn Internationals when we were playing Ireland at Twickenham, in about the 39th minute, I just took a knock to my shoulder and I sort of had a couple of problems with that. Got a scan, had a couple of problems, and right now I'm pretty close to the end of it, so I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it won't be long. I don't know a date still because I've still got to pass some tests, so it's really hard to say, and you never know. You kind of do want to put a date on it, but I'm at this point where I just don't want to because if it doesn't happen, it's a bit annoying. So, but it should be soon. It's very soon.
Exciting. Exactly. So, is that international and club level? You don't have a date for either at the moment, or is it you're back in the squad for Saris? Or
yeah, obviously you continue training with Saris and England if there's sessions, but I'm not being able to do contacts. That's the problem. So when they've been doing non-contact, of course, I've been training with anyone I can, but until I can do contact, and I've got to do 4 sessions before you can play a game. So until I can sort of tick these boxes off and do them all, I'm not sure yet. But we've got a big game around the corner actually, because as I mentioned, I play for Saris, and we've got Harlequins, so first and second in the Tyrell Premiership at Allianz Park, so at Saris on the 12th of January. So I think that's a pretty big game in the grand schemes.
Hopefully pushing to get back for, I assume, on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And does that mean you've had a little bit of tag rugby going on to keep you going? In the
as much catching and passing. I've got a twin sister, she plays rugby with me, so we've been in the garden doing as much catching and passing as I can, and I just love rugby, so anytime I can kind of throw a rugby ball around, that's what I've been doing.
So does that mean like Christmas presents were being thrown around between your twin sister and you over Christmas? Or
I was like, catch, and just threw it out.
Hopefully nothing like fragile going on there.
No, nothing breakable.
About. And what did you do like recovery wise over Christmas? Did you have a breather, or did you have to keep doing like weights and
No, you don't. You never get a breather really. So I've still been travelling to Twickenham to go get physio sessions and around and about, and on sort of the 20. Lucky we've got a really good physio at Saris, and she travelled to meet me halfway.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, to get some sessions in. So yeah, it's always non-stop. You can't just stop and have a little break as much as you want to. But you plan your rest days. So, of course, I wasn't out running on Christmas Day. No stress about that. You do plan your rest days, but you can't have a couple of days off in a row, if that makes sense.
Life of a professional, you never switch off, do you? So, Poppy, you mentioned about this mouth-watering clash at the first game of the season. So we've got top of the table Saris to face Harlequins. Now, Saris have only lost once this season, which was, of course, to Harlequins.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feature in that game?
Yeah, I did play, yeah. It was
and how was that game for you?
It was a tricky game. It was one of these games which I'm sure that Quins won't be too aggrieved when I say that we kind of threw the game away rather than they won it. So we were leading with about 12 minutes ago and we got a player yellow carded. So we spent the last the next 10 minutes, obviously player down, and that's when they scored a try and converted it to win by a point, I think it was in the end. So.
Yeah, so it was tight, wasn't it? And so it's the same really as like last season, isn't it? That you had a repeat, that you played them obviously in the final and you won a tight scoreline, but you hadn't beaten them all season. I mean, you lost to them once in round 18 last season as well. So there's definitely probably your closest rivals, would you say?
Yeah, they're definitely our closest rivals, without a doubt. And I think last year, like even the final, we had myself yellow carded, but we were lucky to come out on top on that game. But I think anyone you play in the Tyrell Premiership at the moment is so hard. Like you've obviously watched a couple of the games, and they're so competitive. Yeah, and you can't really call. You go in thinking you might win, but you really can't call it. And when they say there's been a surprise result, I don't think you have many surprise results in the Premiership because anyone can win. And
yeah. Because the top four could even right now swap places, couldn't they, really? Because Loughborough Lightning went on an amazing unbeaten run, and then Sarries absolutely smashed them when they came to Allianz Park. So there's nothing really in it to say that anyone's running away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're third in the Premiership, and if they look back at their year right now, they're like, right, we finished fifth last year, now we're third. It's been okay, but they were 1 or 2 losses away from being first in the Premiership. If they'd beaten us and then not lost to Bristol, they'll be first at the moment. So it's like so close.
Yeah. And do you have anyone that you think or have played thus far this season that you think was your toughest game, or all of them you go and you can't walk a game, really, can you?
No, you can't walk a game or even think they're easy. It's so tough. They're all so tough. Like I remember, and they all bring different things. So it's like we played Worcester and they were just so good in defence and just hitting us back and not letting us get over the gain line. And that was a really tough game, even though the scoreline doesn't reflect it.
And this is the thing, watching Worcester, I don't know how they're bottom of the table, because every time we go and watch them, like they put on a good performance.
Yeah, it's exactly. They're really tough, and they've got some good, like great heart and grit. But I think for us, the way we play at Sarries, it's kind of like the way they play helps us, like feeds to our game plan sort of thing. Whereas when we play Quins, it doesn't. Like our style of play doesn't beat a defence like Quins, but it does defence like Worcester, if that makes sense. Whereas you've got other teams where Quins might find playing Worcester really easy, but then they go to sort of Gloucester Hartpury, they find them really hard to beat, and it just literally all depends on how everyone's tactics, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So a few more games. So we've got, I think, 4 more before the semis and stuff. So a bit of a break, I guess, for the Six Nations. But what games? So you've got Sarries have got Quins, Gloucester, Bristol, and Loughborough, I believe.
Yeah. So actually, I was looking at the fixtures as well, and I was thinking, obviously, we've got this game coming up, the Sarries Quins game, which is first v second. I don't think you can get a bigger game in a league than that. But interesting to know. I think it's the 23rd. Is it 23rd? Yeah, Gloucester v Wasps. I think that's going to be a big game in the sort of top 4. Yeah. Because either of them picking up like 5 or 4 points when the other team doesn't get any points is going to kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. There's always something about top 4, isn't there? You think football, Champions League, everyone wants top 4. You look like you're the piece de resistance, really, aren't you, if you get up that end?
Yeah, it is exciting, isn't it? But obviously this year they've decided to change the Tyrrell's Premiership. So rather than a home and away semi, it's just one game.
So not the 2 legs this year?
No, so not the 2 legs. Yeah, so I had my friend was saying, I can't remember who it was. They were like, I can't believe it. If you lose, you could top the table, you lose one more game and then you don't even make the final. And I was like, well, that's the way it is, isn't it? You've got to be on
it's no off days, really, is it?
Yeah, absolutely not. And then, if you're winding up to the season, it's not about how you started in September, it's sort of how you're finishing it.
Yeah. And Poppy, what's it like playing with your sister? Like, it's pretty amazing that you're both like top end of your game. Like, there's not many siblings out there that do so well. You're the Brownlee brothers, or you're the Murray brothers, or the Williams sisters of rugby.
No, Tom Youngs and Ben Youngs probably will be the brothers of rugby. We'll give them that. But women's rugby, okay. I think it's interesting. It has its pros and its cons, but when you achieve stuff together, it obviously makes it more special if you're sibling.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Do you think it would be, if either of you played for another club in the Premiership, it'd be difficult if you faced one another, or? Well,
we have done before. So previously, I played at Bristol and she played at Sarries and vice versa. So we've played each other like quite a bit. So, and obviously one year when I was playing at Bristol, we knocked Sarries out in the semi-finals. before the final. So that was, but my dad was like, went into the semi-final and I was like, Sarries in Bristol. My dad was like, well, at least one Cleall's going to be in the final.
Silver lining, you got to view it like that.
Yeah.
Right? Amazing. Well, at least, whatever happens this year, we'll be able to enjoy it together.
Yeah, exactly. So I have actually got a question for you, Bex.
Oh, God, go on.
I want your score predictions, please, for the 12th of January, Saracens v Harlequins.
Oh, I knew you were going to do something like this. Oh, Saracens, Harlequins. What am I going to go with? I'm going to go for a Sarries win.
Not because you're speaking to me.
Not just because speaking to you and I'll be scared of the repercussions. But with the women's rugby show, we came down and watched what I think was probably one of the turning point at the half of the season where you guys beat Loughborough at home, I think 29-0 or something like that. And that was an amazing game. But I don't think it'll be quite as much for a one-sided game. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go for 29-10.
Oh, that's a big score.
The big score, but, and I don't think you're going to get all of it. I think they're going to get a few points, but I'm going to go 29-10. Let me see. What would you say, or do you not predict?
No, I can't predict my own score.
All right, well, let's go with another fixture going on that weekend. Let me get.
Okay.
What about, let's go for Richmond Wasps? I think that'd be quite a good game.
Oh, Richmond Wasps. Okay. I'm going to go for a Wasps win. Actually, I'm going to go with a 20-10 score, actually, because Richmond at home is a pretty tough game.
Yeah.
And I reckon they could score first, but I reckon Wasps will come away with it in the end. So 20-10.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So we've obviously got some big games domestically coming up, but let's talk a bit about the internationals. So England have been on a bit of a run in the quarter internationals, and other than your injury, you were very good.
Thank you.
So what about the Six Nations? And obviously this is going to be a defining point in England rugby with the professional contracts being announced tomorrow. And do you think that could give a bit of a boost, not just, financially, but do you think a bit of a boost amongst the squad going into that Six Nations, knowing that whoever may be chosen is up to that next level and you're now full-time professionals?
Yeah, I think so. So actually just thinking about it then when you're asking the question, I just think also the morale, we're going to get to see each other so much more, gel as a team, and we all know that, whoever does is going to be in there together for, how long the contracts are. So it's going to be, definitely one, mentally a little bit of a head start. But I don't think that being full-time professional for 4 weeks is going to be long enough to really affect how we're going to play together, sort of thing, coming into it. So I think it's more of a longer-term goal, and this might be the first tournament we're playing in, but I don't think it's going to be the first sort of test. When we go to America in the summer for summer tour, I think that's going to be more of a test to see how being full-time's really affected us. But because if you're looking at the fixtures for the Six Nations, your opening fixtures, we've got Ireland away and France at home. So we've got 4 weeks to train before one of the biggest games of the Six Nations.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, and obviously being in Dublin as well. So added pressure as well, isn't there? So Poppy, side note, do you have a job that allows you to play rugby on the side at the moment before being full-time professional?
Yeah, so actually I'm a rugby coach. So head coach of a rugby academy in South London. So I'm okay. I just organise their training around my sort of training. And
how is your other team doing?
We're unbeaten, actually. It's a surprise. It's a surprise to me, but we played a few friendly fixtures, and our big tournaments Roslyn Park Sevens. So that's a mark.
Yeah, nice. And do you ever feel like you want to jump on, or is it a youth team that you're not allowed to play for?
Yeah, so it's Harris City Academy, Crystal Palace. So it's sixth form. So between the 16 to 18. So no, I can't jump on.
Can't get away with it.
No. But it's quite exciting running down the touchline. So.
Do you feel now what the England or the Sarries coaches must feel on the sideline when they see you lot running up and down the pitch?
I think so, but I'm more of a sort of physio coach, water girl in one, whereas they just sit there and they can relax and just watch the TV screen. But I do feel that when we're about to score or someone scored against us, probably the same emotions that they feel.
Yeah. So I think sitting up in like, in the press box, and there's often like coaches in and around, it's funny hearing like, everyone thinks they're quite laid back. They're slamming of the tables and there's people like give away the ball. So maybe they're not quite as relaxed.
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay, so let's talk about the Six Nations. Obviously, England have had a pretty impressive run of Six Nations last year, losing out to France. Talk to me about your experience with the Six Nations. You're obviously part of the Grand Slam winning 2017 squad, weren't you? So talk to me about what you like.
Yeah. I like that you get an international sort of every, week for the first two and then a gap and it's just like continuous. And you don't get a chance to kind of like sit on your laurels or go, oh, that was a really good game and have a couple of months off. You go,
yeah.
Or that wasn't a great game. You get to play the weekend after and sort of sort a couple of things out. And obviously I've watched Six Nations since I was a kid. I think every probably child in England sat and even caught a little bit of it or watched the whole game or has been to the sort of games, and it's kind of special to hear that. I can't remember the guy's name, but the advert when he comes on for commentary.
Oh yeah, I know which one you mean.
So everyone knows the advert. Yeah, it's so iconic. His voice is so iconic, and just everything about the Six Nations is great. And even if a team wins the Grand Slam that year, it's fantastic. So like my memories have always been great, and then coming to play in one, they've probably given me like some of my best experiences in rugby. So when we went, even though we lost, we went to France and we played in front of sort of 17,000 French supporters, which was crazy. Obviously winning the Grand Slam out in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day, that was pretty special.
Wild, that wasn't it there?
Yeah. So for me the Six Nations is always special, and I just think that this Six Nations we've got to get off to a good start because of we've got Ireland away and then France at home. And then I think what have we got here? Yeah, the 9th of March they've got Ireland v France. That's going to be a big game.
Yeah, another one.
And luckily all Ireland are at home as well in Donnybrook, and that's a pretty hard place to go in Donnybrook. I think when we won the Six Nations, that's the same stadium we played at. But we played a double header of the men's under 20s and they sold that out. So it was about 10,000 people.
Amazing.
Yeah, just covered in green, but it was pretty good.
But still, that's what's nice about rugby, isn't it? There's never as much negativity as in some other sports.
No, yeah, you'll get this English flag right in the middle and then another one off on the left and one
exactly in the mix,
the right, and they're just everywhere. Yeah.
So we've had a few, newer faces come through the England squad through the autumn series. And, a couple of them are your teammates at Surrey. So Hannah Bottoman and Zoe Harrison, again, correct me if I'm saying any of these wrong.
No, they're all right, yeah.
Hannah Bottoman especially just getting better and better. And at such a young age, the future of England rugby is looking pretty good, isn't it? In terms of professional development as well.
Yeah, definitely. So when they get to go professional, they get to go professional from a younger age rather than sort of people like 28, 29, who they get to go professional, but it's not going to have such an impact on their longer careers. But so like Hannah, I remember she got her debut actually so not the Quilter Internationals gone, the Autumn Internationals before then, in her first game, and I remember watching, she scored a try, and I was like, who does that? I was in the front row, because front row is like, even though they like to think they score, they don't score that much. So you're playing front row, your first ever England game, and you go and score a try, and I was like watching, I was like, how has she managed that? Because she's my roommate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we go on camp. So I just remember being like, how have you done that? I have no idea.
Quite a celebration, I guess, of her debut as well in that camp there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think actually, to be fair to her, she does pop up with a couple of tries. So she scored in the Premiership final as well. So I wouldn't mind if she popped up on the 12th and scored a couple of tries. But yeah, she is pretty good, and she's only going to get better as well. So. Yeah,
and Lydia Thompson stood out obviously in the autumn series. I believe a hat-trick against Ireland, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she got player of the match against Ireland. Yeah, so she's sort of my age. So she's 26. She's been around for a very long time. She played in a couple of World Cups, and actually
old 26. So
everyone talks about how Hannah and Zoe are like young and 19. And I just thought it just makes me feel older and older and older. But no, Lydia, she got nominated actually in the 2017 World Cup for Player of the Year. So. Like that's an outstanding, like if you're going to get nominated in the top 3 rugby players in the whole entire world.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So if you could, I'm going to put you on the spot now. If you could name, from England, or let's go the world. Let's go. Would you be able to pick out top 3 players worldwide for you?
Okay. Oh, Nora.
I know that's really put you on the spot there, haven't I?
You're not coming again. No, so
Rugby is a question.
I think after the Six Nations last year, I'm going to have to go Jessy Tremouliere from France. So she scored against us in like the 78th minute to win the Grand Slam for France. And she's also current World Player of the Year, so obviously she's going to have to be the first one named. Let's have a look. Who else am I going to think? I've got to go someone from New Zealand because because
they are the champions.
Yeah, I'd have to go Kendra Cocksedge.
Okay.
So she's their scrum half, and I don't think there's anything that she just doesn't do consistently well. So kicking, especially off the tee, I don't think you can give a penalty against New Zealand in their 22 and they're not going to get it. So she's going to have to be the one from New Zealand, and then I'm going to have to go back to England, clearly.
Yeah. And you'd be in trouble if you didn't.
I'm going to have to say someone from England, Marley Packer.
Okay, yeah.
Just because she's so dynamic, she can change a game, and I think it says something when you would rather them on your team than the opposition's team.
Yeah.
Sort of you have that respect for them.
And doesn't that show just how good England? I know you're an England player, so you choose an England one in your top 3, but it shows how good England are now on the world stage. Really, that there could be a handful of people that you could choose as some of the top players in the world from England.
Yeah, and I think that you also get to stage that when they're playing internationally, and any nation, they're like their skills and they need to be up there anyway. So I think you could get a handful from Ireland and you could get a handful from Wales and sort of thing, because they've reached that stage in their career that all the players that you play internationally are like pretty good. So I remember when we were playing America, they've got a really good back row, like Jordan Gray at number 8, and I remember going Bloomin' Nora. And then even when you go and like you play like Clare Malloy in Ireland, you just know like easy day it when you're playing international rugby.
Yeah.
You don't go, cool, I fancy this. Like, it doesn't happen.
It's never friendly either, is it?
No, you do your homework and you're like, oh, come on then, this is going to be a test.
Yeah. So talking of internationals, obviously, the whole professional contract thing is quite exciting at the moment, but we've got 3 players transitioning from the Sevens and they've been awarded, there's some sort of contracts coming into the England squad. So what do you make of like the transitioning from the Sevens, and what's that going to bring to the England squad?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were given the option, the fair option of our coaches said we want these players we want to offer these players contracts, and they were given the option, and it was really good to get them back. And I think it's going to be great in the Premiership as well. I think going to Loughborough, so they could have a real effect on the Gloucester and Harlequins. So they're going to have. So actually, Sarries is the only top 4 team without one.
You've got enough England internationals in your squad.
So it could really affect that, and it's great for the 15. So they're going to come back and go straight into a Six Nations, or come back and go off onto summer tour. So for them, it's a fantastic opportunity, and then also for us because they're going to be playing for us.
Yeah. But obviously, Sevens is a very different beast when it comes to rugby. So what will these guys bring to the 15s game?
Well, they've all got proven sort of track records in 15s, haven't they? So you've got Jess Breach, who scored, was it 7 tries in one of the autumns? You've got Emily Scarrett, who scored the winning try and kicked like 15 points in a World Cup final, and then you've got Mo, who's been to how many World Cups? So I think they've all like sort of proven themselves at 15s.
And all represented England as well. Yeah, Commonwealths and World Cups. But what do you think is different that they can bring from the Sevens game?
Oh, okay. I hope they're quick. I hope we can pass them the ball and they're quicker than everyone else.
Run down the way, yeah.
But I'm not. Because it's elite level rugby, so they've all got the skills of
it's all transferable.
Our backs have got. Yeah, you could probably pick any of our backs in a Sevens team. So they've got the passing ability of left of your right hand, and they've got the kicking and running ability. So I think it's all it's transferable. But they also just bring that experience because they've played at the highest level in Sevens. So they've gone to Olympics, they've gone to Commonwealth Games, and some of our girls have played in front of 2,000 people at the Stoop, or if you're the lucky ones, you played in the World Cup final in front of 15,000 people. But they played at like Olympics, which is like, how incredible is that? So they bring that with them, and hopefully confidence, because they've been professional for 2 years with the Sevens. So
yeah. And
they've been through it as well, so they could probably give us a little helping hand when after 2 weeks of full-time training, we probably can't walk very far.
Yeah. And you're getting it together. So, Poppy, the question now is, obviously, nothing's getting released until tomorrow, but are you going to be able to give any sort of exclusives to Wisps about whether you might become a full-time professional?
As much as I would love to, obviously, because Wisp is where I started my podcast career. No, unfortunately I can't. But it's 11 o'clock. What time is it? But no, it's not. It's GMT.
Yeah.
GMT. So it's 11 o'clock GMT. So
watch the Wisp social media channels. I'm sure we'll have something out there once you've announced it.
I'm sure you'll retweet it for me.
Yeah, of course. To my one follower that would be my mum. Okay, well, so what have you got planned then this week in terms of training camps?
So I'm sure the Saris training will start this week, and then we've got obviously the game in a couple of.
Yeah, you got about a week and a half, is it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, before your first kicking off, and then England on the 1st, isn't this?
Yeah, February the 1st, Friday. We're the first kick, the game, the England game. And then 2 hours later, I think it's a Scottish game, and then the next day is France. So,
well, we'll have everything crossed, won't we, for that?
And we can talk about it next episode. So there's no need to worry. We can all discuss it and go into details then.
We can catch up on all of that.
So that's the reason why anyone listening needs to tune in again, because I can give you some more gossip then.
There you go, and then we'll get the full inside scoop from the England rugby camp as well. So while we're at it, I'm going to ask you the question: have you watched any of the women's rugby show? The digital channel solely dedicated to championing women's rugby.
I've seen a couple of the interviews, yeah.
Yeah,
but and I've just definitely seen a couple of the interviews. But it's hard when you're not playing and.
Yeah, you don't want to watch. So when you're back in the fold, we can come and speak to you after the game, Poppy.
You can, or my sister. I'm sure she loves to speak. She would love to do it.
Right in front of camera. Amazing. Perfect. Well, thanks for having me on the podcast. My initiation, have I passed it?
Yes, you're welcome back.
As long as I don't put you on the spot again.
No, this time I'm going to get questions just for you.
Yeah, you have a list ready to go next time.
Actually, yeah, send your questions in, the hardest questions that you can think of for me to ask Bex. So next time,
yeah. Share the love though. Give a few for me to give to Poppy too. She's much more excited. She's an England international, so no one wants to know about me. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for that, Poppy.
No worries. And thanks for joining me.
Yeah, good luck with recovery.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be in touch again soon.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
England squad and Sarri squad from Poppy Cleall. Her Twitter to keep up to date with all her goings on is Poppy_G_C. And if you want to see any of my ramblings, it's at Bex Chaplin. Don't forget to follow at the Women's Rugby Show and of course at Wisp Sports on social media. And of course, don't forget to check out wispsports.com to keep up to date with every sport and to get all the show notes from our podcast today.